Website photos, website photos, website photos. Okay, can I get like a dramatic zoom as I'm doing that? All right, let's try it again. Website photos, website photos, website photos. So that's what we're gonna be talking about today. Everything you need to know about how to choose which photos go up on your website, how to size them, the resolution, the content, all of that stuff. I'm really excited to dive in. If you're new, I want to say welcome to the Worth the Journey channel. I'm Noe, and today I actually want to share a little bit about why I started this channel and in fact why I started my business. It all started way back about 7 years ago when I was working at Microsoft all the way up on the 24th floor, coding my life away as a software engineer in my little office with a slidey door. And finally, I just couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't bear the corporate structure and the competition and the fierceness and that whole system of my life being set up for me. I just needed to break free. And so when I left, I was really excited about doing what I really love to do, but I had no frickin' idea how to do it. The only other thing I knew how to do was teach yoga. So I thought it would be a great idea to open up a yoga shop. Sure, open up a yoga shop. Everyone will come. Put out a sign that says yoga. People will come. Nobody came. And that business totally failed. I learned so much from going through that experience. So much that I wish nobody else has to go through those experiences. I had some real zingers, some real come to Jesus moments. And what I want to do is save you a lot of the pain and give you a lot of the wisdom that I learned. Because now I know so much more than I used to know. And even though every one of my experiences was formative, I want to help people like you who are braving that unknown to get a step ahead, just like other people helped me get a step ahead. So whether you're starting a new business or you're just looking to uplevel your website, I want to say thanks for tuning in. It's really exciting to be here with you, and I want to make this a two-way conversation. So if there are more questions that you have, please type them in the comments below and I would love to answer them for you. Okay, before we dive in, I just want to geek out with you for a second about video. Oh my God, short form videos. I've been getting into TikTok and Instagram Reels, and now I'm starting to make some videos. I want you to go check them out and let me know if you think they're funny. They're meant to be little spoofs on entrepreneurship, and I think you're gonna get a kick out of them. Head over to @NoeKalfa on Instagram, check them out, let me know what you think. Okay, are you ready to learn everything you need to know about getting fantastic photos up on your website? I really hope so, because I have like a million notes and I want to share them all with you. I think I need a more convincing voice, like, by the time you're done with this video, you're gonna know website photography so well, you're gonna take pros and eat them for breakfast. Okay, but seriously, let's dive in. The dark reality is that most websites have really horrible photos, and it almost never has to do with the people looking bad in the photos. It's because they're low resolution, it's because the composition is off, or it's really unclear why this photo is on this website, or it's just a random picture of nature, which I know is a favorite among therapists. So if you're a therapist, please do something other than random nature shots. But let me tell you, I have been there before. I was actually able to go in on Squarespace and find one of my old websites, and I want to go through it with you. Okay, here we go. I don't know what we're gonna find. I'm kind of nervous, but let's take a look at one of my old websites. Oh boy, look at that logo. Look at those bold colors. Oh man. Oh man. Let's not look at those for too long. Oh, I'm scared to click this button. Work with me, jumping out of a parachute, because that's what it's like to work with me. No, bad idea. Workshops. Yep, see, random nature picture. Why? Why, Noe? Why? Okay, we can do much better than this. We're gonna take it to a whole nother level. I'm gonna help you avoid all the mistakes that I made, and it begins by understanding the 6 kinds of website photography. When I started, I had no idea that there were different areas of the website for specific photos to go. And so I was just hodgepodge throwing random photos in different areas. I had no idea what I was doing. If that's what you're running into, we're gonna clear that all up right now. For each category, I'm gonna give you the location, which is where on your website should it go, the content, which is what should go in that spot, and then the ratio and the size, which is what dimensions should that photo have. Okay, the first category is banners. Banners are those big, beautiful widescreen photos you see at the top of websites that really give you the feel and the texture and the life of the website. Now, the location for banners is almost always going to be at the top of each page of your website. Now, for content, you're almost always going to want to put text on top of the photos. So the photos you choose have to have plenty of space on them for that text to be on top of. And if the background is too busy, if there are too many contrasting colors, the text is not going to turn out very well. So you need to either blur the background or shoot against solid color backgrounds. All right, the standard ratio for banners is 16:9, but as far as sizing goes, there's some debate in the SEO community. Some people are really focused on smaller images so that they load faster, so that your SEO score is better. And other people emphasize making sure that your photos will show up really nicely on all screens, including bigger screens or Retina screens. So I'm going to give you two options. Pick one and just stick with that for your whole website. So either have your banners be 2560 pixels by 1440 pixels or 1920 pixels by 1080 pixels. If you go larger, your website's going to be much slower to load, which impacts your SEO negatively. And if you go much smaller, then having those blown up widescreen pictures are going to end up being grainy on your website, and you do not want that. It looks really bad. The next category is either working shots or product shots, depending on whether you're a service-based business or a product-based business. And for those shots, you're either going to use them on the services page or on the store, or you could sprinkle them throughout your website to give people the feeling of what it's like to work with you or what your products are like. And this is really important. This is sort of the heart of your photography, is really giving people the experience of being there with you or with your products or in the space that you create or whatever it is at the event that you're about to put on. Just by seeing great photos that demonstrate what you're offering, your people are going to connect with you, which already moves them down that sales funnel. Okay, let's go into the ratio and the size. So ratio is usually going to be either 3:2 or 1:1, which is a square shot. Now these shots are almost never going to be full width, so all you really need is 1500 pixels width. The reason you want to keep these smaller is because you're probably going to have a lot more of them, and if the sizes are really big, having that many big photos is really going to slow down your website, which means bad SEO, which means it's not going to be shown to as many people, which means less people coming into your marketing funnel. Okay, third category, headshots. You know what these are. They're on the About page, they're sometimes on the home page, and usually they're either square, they're either horizontal 3:2, or sometimes they're vertical 4:5. So obviously for content, these are shots of you or your team members. And size-wise, same thing as the working shots or the product shots, 1500 pixel width, and then you do the rest of the math to get the height. Okay, these next three categories are ones that people don't think about as much, but they're still really important. This next category is accent photos. Accent photos are all the photos that are filling in the gaps on your website. For location, they could be anywhere on your website. And for content, it's got to be related to your business, something that kind of fills in your brand and gives people more of that vibe, that feeling, that mood, that emotion. And for ratio and size, you could have all kinds of different accent shots. Some of them could be long strips separating text. Some of them could be little accent photos that make a grid. Those accent shots aren't obvious, but are really important to remember as you build your photo list, which we're going to get to later, because they really give people an emotional experience when they land on your website. Okay, second to last category is social media shots. Now these are a specific kind of photo. It's the photo that will show up on Facebook or on text when somebody is sharing the link to that page of your website. Each page needs its own social media shot, and usually on your website platform, whether you're using Squarespace or WordPress or something else, there's a spot to upload your social media image. If you don't do this, a random photo from your website is gonna be pulled and it's gonna look real weird. Usually it's like half of a logo blown up and cut off with some text underneath it, and it looks like, what the heck is this thing? What you want to do is give people a great experience when they see your website for the first time. This is going to be that first look at your website, and you've got to make them want to click on it. As far as content goes, I usually use my banner photos as those social media photos. You don't have to worry about putting extra text on top of them because usually that page's title and its SEO blurb is going to be shown in the text below the photo. So just make sure that that photo looks really nice. Now, the one annoying thing you have to do is resize that photo. It's got to be a 1200 by 628 pixel photo. I know, it's really weird. Facebook kind of created that photo size. I don't know why. A really easy way to resize your photos is to use Canva. Let me show you what I mean. So you can see here, I'm gonna go up and find the Facebook ad size. And from here, I can drag in my photo and it will be right at that right size. And then you wanna export it as a JPEG. Okay, that's social media shots. All right, the last category is brand and logo elements. And this includes your logo, your favicon, and any other icons or other kind of brand related little images that you've made. Let's start with the logo. The logo, as you know, is usually going to go in the header and probably in the footer of your website. That may be it, but there could be other places for your logo to go. As far as ratio goes, that totally depends on what your designer has created for you. And if you don't have a logo yet, you should definitely get one. So I'm gonna link to my agency in case you need that work done. We have some great designers, they'll hook you up. Now for the size of your logo, max width of 1280 pixels. All right, let's go to favicon, which also is kind of a funny word, favicon. It's my fave. Maybe that's why. The favicon is that tiny little logo mark that goes in your browser. And if you don't have a logo, it's gonna end up defaulting to whatever your website platform is. And I always know whenever I go to a Squarespace site when somebody has not added their favicon yet, because it always has that square, that Squarespace square. You can always tell. So it will look much better if you have your actual brand favicon there. The ratio is gonna be square, 1:1. And the size is gonna be no more than 300 pixels. I like to make mine 150 by 150 pixels. And finally, you might have icons on your website like we do, and you can put them anywhere. The main content that will go here is your features and benefits. It's a way to give people that little bit of an image to remember what it is that you do. Now for size, you don't wanna go bigger than 500 pixels, but you could probably get away with 300 pixels to keep that size down on your website. Depends on how many icons you have and how big they are. Now you know the 6 website photo categories. Congratulations. You're now gonna make much better website decisions. What I wanna do next is take you through my actual process of figuring out where on the page do the photos go. And it all starts in your website copy. Let's take a look. So I'm in the process of building a website for Sonia, who's one of my clients. And as you can see here, we're in the About page, and I've got the copy already written here, and it's segmented by these headers. And what I'm gonna do is I know that I'm gonna have a banner image at the top here with About on top of it. And then I've got this little welcome, hi, I'm Sonia, and then a little bit of text. After that, I wanna have a couple images of Sonia. So I'm gonna pop in here 1 to 3 photos. And now as we go down in the text, here's kind of like her story section. And I like to segment the story from like a more professional bio. So here, the fine print is where the professional bio starts. So down here, I want like a wide photo divider. So let's do a photo divider, if I can spell right. And you can see just like that, you're kind of going through the site and thinking, okay, well, what goes here? For example, after this fine print section, I want to see some videos. And then after that, I want to see a kind of split screen where there's going to be a couple photos with some different overlays on top. Okay, now I've mocked it up on the website. And as you can see, here's our banner at the top. Then we scroll down, there's a little bit of text. Then here's those 3 photos. And here's that next section of text. It's kind of all formatted. There's the button. And then there's our big divider. All right, we scroll down. There's the fine print. And then here's some videos. And if we keep going, here are the side-by-side with the text on top. And as you can see from the photo word marks, this is just a mock-up that I'll replace with the actual photos. But this is the kind of process that I do whenever I build a website and that you can do with your own website. Okay, y'all, the next step in getting great photos up on your website is, drumroll, actually taking photos. I know, it can be the hardest thing. I was terrified of taking photos before. I did not want my face to be on stuff. I was not confident in taking photos. What I ended up doing was just randomly grabbing any photos I could find, often stuff from Facebook. Do not do that. I want to convince you that it's worth your while to actually get out there and do a photo shoot. Whether you hire a professional or whether you just do it with yourself or with a friend, it is totally worth it. Let me just remind you of some of the photos you saw on my website from about 5 years ago. Oh no, you do not want your website to be like that. Needless to say, it took me a long time to figure out how important photo shoots were. And so anytime I build a website for clients, I recommend that they get a photo shoot done. Hire a professional if you can. If you can't, totally fine, shoot your own photos. Okay, let's plan your photo shoot. I promise you, you're gonna look like $1,000,000. First things first, go through each page and write out your web copy, all of the text that you want on your website. Write it out. Next, make a photo list. You're gonna take each of those 6 categories, the banners, the headshots, the working shots, all those, and you're gonna figure out how many photos you need for each category. Figuring out the number of photos you need is gonna help you budget when you're hiring a professional, but I always recommend estimating about 20% more photos than you think you need, because you're always gonna need some extra photos to fill in gaps, to make something look more interesting, or trust me, you're gonna expand your website, you're gonna add on more pages. I know right now you're thinking, well, I'm barely brave enough to get this website up there, but trust me, once you get it up, you're gonna be all proud and like, look at what I did, and then you're gonna wanna add some more pages to it, and guess what? You're gonna need more photos, but oh my God, you've planned for this, you have more photos. Thank you, Noe, I know you're welcome. So to make the photo listing process a little bit easier, I've created for you a free downloadable photo list template. Took me forever to say photo list template. But seriously, it's free. You don't have to give me your email address or anything like that. Just download it now. I might make it paid later if I remember to come back to this video and do that. Go download it. It's gonna have all the categories already listed out so you can just fill it in. I'm just gonna sit here and look at you until you're done downloading it. Is that weird? Okay, I'm pretty sure you're done. Okay, great. Once you have your photo list, I want you to start thinking about your brand. And what I mean here is think about the locations that make sense for your brand to shoot at. Think about the outfits. Think about the props that you might have. Ultimately, think about the vibe you're creating on your website, because that's what customers are going to be stepping into. So for example, if you're running a business selling lime zesters, a very popular industry, you're gonna wanna surround yourself with various citrus zesting implements, various fruits. You're gonna wanna shoot in kitchens. You're gonna want that feeling of freshness, right? All of those things are really enticing to somebody who wants to zest a lime. Now that may seem really obvious, but think about the colors, think about the space, think about the lighting. All of that is creating the vibe on your website. Okay, now I'm just too curious. I have to know if we have any lime-related items. That's my housemate Zoe. Okay, I got a lime. Zester number 1. Number 2. All right, now I just have to make it into a lime zesting photo shoot. Yep, I actually zested the lime, and now I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with half a zested lime. If you're doing your own photo shoot, I've got a few quick tips for you here. Now I know this video is already pretty long, so I'm probably gonna make a separate video to go into further depth, but here are a few really important things you need to know when doing your own photo shoot. The first most important one for the quality of your photography is great lighting. Either use natural light, like shooting outside, or shooting facing big windows like this. Oh! Now I know that I'm facing away from the windows, but that's because I have these fancy and yet very cheap lights that you can get on Amazon. They're great, and as you can see, they're lighting my face evenly. It's gonna make a huge difference on the quality of your photos. I'll link to these lights so you can pick them up yourself. Now I've also experimented with ring lights. Like here I pulled out my one, and what you can see is it's a similar kind of situation. It lights your face around, but it's gonna create those ring light O's. You can see the reflection in my eyes. All right, it's gonna create that in your photography, and it's not ideal. Now, if you already have one, go with it. I'm a big fan of using what you got, but if you can get natural light or, oh God, what's going on? Okay. But if you can get natural light or you can use those umbrella style lights, it's gonna create a much better effect. The next tip I have for shooting your own photos is to get either a nice camera or a nice phone. Most phones are really great for taking photos, especially because they have portrait mode, right? your iPhone is gonna be really great, especially if you have like an iPhone 12 like I just got. The photo capabilities on this thing are pretty amazing. However, as soon as I upgraded to get a Canon EOS M50, my photography game went way through the roof. That's the camera I'm using right now that you're seeing me through, and isn't the quality really, really nice? Yeah, I've shot a lot of photography on my phone that just can't quite compare to a real camera. So start with what you got. A phone is totally fine, but know that if you get a camera, that quality will go way up. And it's only probably worth your while if you're also gonna be shooting video on that camera, or if you're also gonna be vlogging or live streaming or something like that. Next tip, set up your backgrounds very specifically. Especially for headshots, you wanna use that portrait mode, you wanna get that blurry background, and for banners, you also wanna either have a blurry background or shoot against a solid background, because remember, you want text on that photo. So for example, if I was shooting a banner photo, I would not wanna place my head right here because where's the text gonna go, right? You're gonna wanna step back and create some space maybe over here where you can put text right here and then blur this background, right? This plant is contrasting with this wall background color. Everything else is fairly seamless, but you're gonna wanna blur that background and put the text right over here or right over here. Take the time to play around. That's how great photos are made. And don't worry if you don't have portrait mode, you can always blur the background later using tools like Facetune. Next tip is to batch your photos by location. That just means shoot a bunch of different photos in that location. Shoot some horizontal, shoot wide shots, shoot head shots, shoot vertical shots, shoot some working shots, and then move to a new location. When you're doing a photo shoot, it's a pain in the butt to shoot in one location, move all your gear to another location, only to remember that you missed some shots in that first location and have to truck all your stuff back over there. Which dovetails right into my next point. Shoot a bajillion photos. Shoot a bunch of photos horizontal, a bunch of photos vertical, get all the different angles, get all of your different body postures and expressions, right? Make sure you have a whole palette to choose from, a whole gradient to choose from so that you can kind of scan through and, okay, that's the banner that I want there. This is the headshot that I want. I want this for my about page. I want this for my services page. Once you sit down to actually choose the photos, you're gonna regret it if you don't have enough options to choose from. Okay, last thing is a couple photo editing tips for after you've finished your shoot. So when you sit down and you're looking through your photos, pay attention to the white balance. That is, are your photos more yellow or more blue? That is gonna set a big part of the tone of your brand. Also pay attention to the exposure. How much light is there in your photos? Generally, you wanna have plenty of light in your photos. You don't want them to be too dark, otherwise it's gonna feel a little dim, a little more claustrophobic. However you end up shooting your photos, I wish you the best photo shoot ever. Okay, we're gonna bring it back home to the desk for this final section, which is all about SEO. So now that you've built your photo list, and let's say you've gone and done your photo shoot and you've got your image files ready to upload to your website, there's one more really important thing that you need to do, which is to prepare your photos for SEO. I did not do this. I did not know about this back when I was starting out. And it's so important. I hired a professional team a few years ago to do an SEO audit on my website, and they found a bunch of issues, especially some photo stuff, and that's what I want to show you. When you get this stuff cleared up, your website is going to load way faster, and your images are going to be found on Google more often, which leads more people to find you, which is the whole point of marketing. And I really wish someone had told me how important this was, because I really didn't understand the slow trickle of marketing that can lead to the big boom. You know, we're all waiting for our big breakthrough moment to happen, and the way that we get there is by putting ourselves out there more and more again and again in that slow trickle. And then eventually we become found, and then we get shared, and then boom, we start to expand very fast. So the way to do that is not to try to expand really fast, but to really master that slow trickle of putting things out there in the right way, which is why SEO is so important. I want to show you what I mean, because taking you through the process visually is going to make much more sense than me just talking about it. So let's say I've just taken a bunch of photos from my website and I want to get them ready to put up online. So I'm going to take this first photo. Oh yeah, look at that. The first thing I want to do is apply the SEO naming convention, because no one's going to find this image if it's called image 0351, right? So what I'm going to do here is change it to Noe-Kalfa-Lime-Zester-Kitchen. Great. Oh, where'd it go? There we go. Now this image is actually searchable online. And once I upload it, At some point, if you search Noe Kalfa lime zester, you're gonna find this image. And if your website's all about lime zesting and there's lots of images of you zesting in your kitchen that are properly named, you're gonna get bumped up on SEO, and eventually when people start searching lime zesting, kitchen, things like that, you're gonna be found more often. The next thing you gotta do is look at the format. This is a JPEG image, which is fine because I'm gonna upload this to Squarespace. Squarespace is my personal favorite platform. But if you're on WordPress or Shopify, you can take advantage of next-gen formats like JPEG 2000 or WebP. So for format, this image is fine. Now we go over to the size. This photo is 5.3 megabytes, which is pretty darn huge for a website, especially if this is a working shot and I have a bunch of them on that one page. That page could load really slowly. So I want to change the size here. And if you remember, the size for a working shot is going to be 1500 pixels across. And this one is a 3x2, so it's going to automatically rescale it to a height of 1000. And resolution does not matter. DPI does not matter for web because DPI, or dots per inch, really just matters when you're printing. All right, I'm gonna save this image and then let's take a look at the size. Okay, now we're down to 473 kilobytes. That's huge difference. But we can still reduce the size slightly by stripping some of the metadata. So what I'm gonna do is open up ImageOptim, which is an image optimizer, and I'm just gonna drop it right in here. It's gonna automatically pull out 9% of the size, which is great. It's gonna help a little bit, and when you have a ton of images, it really saves on space. And the great thing is ImageOptim is totally free, so I'll link to it in the description. The final SEO improvement is also an accessibility improvement, which is to add alt text when you upload your photo. So let me show you how to do this. So because I recommend most people use Squarespace, I'm gonna show you how to do it on Squarespace, but you can also look up how to add alt text on WordPress or Shopify or any other platform. So for Squarespace, it's not totally obvious, but what I'm gonna do is open up the image here, upload it from my computer. There we go. I'm gonna click add caption below. Now I'm not gonna end with a caption, but I'm gonna start with a caption, and I'm gonna add in here the text, Noe Kalfa zesting a lime. And then I'm gonna go back into this image and turn the caption off. That caption is now the alt text. So when I save this, if we refresh this test page, there's the image. And if I go into my friendly neighborhood inspector and we drill in, there's the image and alt Noe Kalfa zesting a lime. There we go. So now my image is totally optimized for any time people are searching any combination of zesting, lime, Noe Kalfa. I've got the file name correctly set, which you can see right here. I've got the alt text correctly set, which is also gonna help with accessibility for screen readers. So if somebody doesn't load the images, they're still gonna see that there was an image here with Noe zesting a lime. And that, my friends, is how to do SEO for your images. Okay, y'all, I hope that was really helpful. It was fun to make this video for you. And this is totally part of my larger mission of helping everybody work for themselves. It's kind of this new obsession of mine to change the way we think about work, to change what we think is possible. I really believe that everybody can work for themselves and that we can create a world where that's a really sustainable thing and it's a very self-sufficient thing. So this is my small contribution to help you get there. And it really helps if you like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're a fellow creator, you know exactly how important it is to get the support from your community. So thank you if you like this video, and thank you if you subscribe to the channel. And I can't wait to get more videos out to you. But I wanna know, did you learn everything that you needed to know about planning, shooting, and uploading photos to the web? Did you learn everything? Did I cover all the topics that you needed? Do you have tips from other people, things that I missed? Let me know in the comments and let's make this a community effort. I almost forgot to plug my business. My business is called Worth the Journey. It's great. We do business coaching, we do web design, we do graphic design, we do virtual assistants, we do social media marketing. We're awesome. Come check it out, worththejourney.com. Seriously, check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Okay, it got really creepy there. What's my tagline? I feel like here is where I'm supposed to have some kind of fancy tagline like, keep it real, internet, or you got this, you're the best, or that's the way the cookie crumbles. Well, if you have any suggestions for a closing tagline, let me know, because I obviously don't have one. But for now, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and I hope you enjoy some outtakes. This time, I prepared 2 bonus batteries. Now, what are you gonna do, camera? You can't shut down on me now. Okay, you're gonna laugh at this. Now that I got all those extra batteries, of course, the issue I run into is running out of space on my computer. Okay, I've got my hard drive, external hard drive, hard at work, clearing up space so I can edit this video. I am a warrior. La 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 la. I'm just prepping my voice, everybody. And that's just how I prep for the camera. The camera. To be or not to be. That is the question. Whether it is nobler of the mind. Next, make a photo list. You're gonna take those 6 categories and you're gonna take them and you're gonna do something with them. What are you gonna do with them? In summation,